All right, we're gonna get started here today, man. A little cold out here. It's temperature dropping, and I'm out here in shorts and a t-shirt. Got my little jacket on, my little fleece jacket, so just to stay warm. But I'm gonna get today's podcast started. I kind of went about taking my notes a little slow, so I got it going, and we're about to rock and roll, man, with today's podcast. So let's go. Let's hit it. What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the Top 25 Mistakes en Route to the Good Life, coming at you with my daily podcast. That's right. And by the way, guys, if you have not jumped on over to my site, lieutenantsalblue.com, I got tons of specials going on this month. I'm giving away 10,000 autographed copies of my book. Okay, giving away. You guys pay the shipping. Just hop on over to lieutenantsalblue.com. Tons of extra bonuses that come along with that. So hop on over there right now. Pause the video. Pause your podcast. Go on over. Put lieutenantsalblue.com in your browser. Pick up your copy of your book today. Then jump back into this lesson, man. This lesson is powerful, and it is going to help you to move ahead in life. It's going to help you to gain some power. It's going to help you to gain some influence and get more of the things that you want out of life. And so it's important that you answer this question for yourself. And today's question is, what side of the scale have you been living your life? Now, a lot of times, when people talk about the scale, they talk about the scale of balance, right? Having some type of balance in your life and trying to live your life based on balance and that work-life balance and tons of balance. People are always talking about balance, right? People have no clue what it means to be happy. It is definitely not work-life balance, okay? We live our lives in extremes, right? We go from one and we put all the energy into one project, and that's extreme, right? And then we'll go vacation and enjoy with the family because we put in so much work, and then maybe that's extreme, and you can't rise in both areas at the same time. I just want you guys to know that. You have to put in some work, some hard work and some effort, and then you have to turn around and you have to enjoy your time with family and relaxation or whatever it's going to be. But either way, balance is not the case when I'm talking about that. But that is not totally what that question is about, right? Now, as I've said before, guys, in my life, I have heard the term balance and the term equal, right, or equality used too many times. Too many times have I heard this, and people really, really think that this is what's going to get them ahead in life. I'm just taking a sip of my hot black coffee today, just to stay warm out here as I do my podcast. Now, I want you guys to know, right? You can believe with the masses, if you want, that someday you will live your life in perfect balance, right? Or that one day we will all be equal, right? Isn't that what people always talk about? One day we'll all be equal. See, now for me, okay, I'm not going to live my life in that one day possibility, hope, illusion that people depend on, right? Now, for me, I prefer to deal with life as it is, right? Life as it is right now, not how I would like it to be, because when you living life how you would like it to be, you're just living in an illusion. Sometimes you got to take things for what they're worth, right? You got to call things what they are, okay? And you got to live your life based on what has happened, not what you would like to happen, because then you're living off of facts. And when you live off of facts, I think that you get more things done because you just don't waste a lot of time with hope. But we'll get into that in a minute, guys. Now, I get it. I get it, guys. I get it, though. What about hope, right? What about hope? You guys ask that question all the time. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. What I found to be a consistent theme in my life, right, is that in order to have hope, right, in order to have hope, you first need to put in tons of hard work, right, toward whatever goal it is you're trying to achieve, right, whatever goal you desire. So in order to have hope, you already have to put in tons of hard work, right? Now, the problem is this. The people want to do just the opposite, right? The masses, everybody wants to do just the opposite, right? They're talking about give me hope, right? And if you give me hope, I'll put in the work, but give me some hope, give me something to believe in. A lot of people are running around looking for something to believe in, and then they'll put in the hard work. And just life doesn't work that way, man. Life doesn't work where some miracle happens, and because of that miracle that happens, you start to put in hard work, and then all of a sudden your life gets better and everything turns around. It is all just the opposite. You have to put in tons of work first, right? And that is why these people that believe that balance will bring them happiness, these same people also believe that if someone comes along and equals out the playing field, I'm sure you guys have heard that before, someone comes along and equals out the playing field, they will be able to get ahead in life. This is what they think, this is what they believe, and this is how they go about each and every day of their life with this false sense of hope, right? And then also this dependence of other people to help them to achieve the life that they want, right? So, I don't want you guys to be that way, and that is why I'm talking about it, because I believe this is a huge mistake that far too many people have been making, and we need to make corrections in this in order for people to have a better life. Now, what these people, right, who have this false sense of hope, and the one who want the equal playing field, what these people do not understand is that they are doing the opposite of what it takes to be successful, right? Just the opposite of what it takes to being successful means, what does that mean when I'm talking about it? It means that they are living their lives dependent on other people, which also makes it impossible to become independent, right? So these people, they want to have freedom of choice and all of these freedoms that they want, and totally independent to live their life, okay, and to achieve the goals and the riches and enjoyment that they truly want. But they're going about it the wrong way. They're going about it by depending on someone else to give it to them. They're dependent on somebody else to make their dreams come through. And the truth is that no matter who you depend on, they're going to make their own dreams come true. Their life is a priority over your life. So you can't sit there and bank on somebody else to come through for you. You got to come through for yourself, man. So I tell people, it is your lack of independence that stops you from equality, right? As well as any power you need to acquire to get ahead in life, right? It is your lack. It is the fact of the matter is, when you depend on somebody, your dependence stops you from becoming independent. And it's a whole lot that goes with this, and I'm going to get into all that today as I talk a little faster because it's a little bit cold. So if this is a short podcast, forgive me. I'll make sure that I start to move the next sessions down to a much warmer climate, maybe the wine room. You guys have seen that before, right? Now, and the fact is, guys, the fact is that if you want to be independent, right, you must always be needed and wanted, right? So think of this, right? If you want to be independent, you always need somebody to depend on you, right? Somebody to always want you. That is the only way that you can be independent, right? People need you. And the truth is, the more people that rely on you, the more freedom you have, right? And if you got us, and I'm gonna get into this tool that is being used by people who are in positions of power, right? The more people that rely on you, the more freedom that you have. Now, the reason why I say this tool is being used to control people at all levels is because we see it each and every day, and until you begin to pay attention to what's going on, you will not notice it. You are just under the control and just living your life thinking that you're independent when the truth is you're very dependent, right? And so you have to make sure that this tool, this system, is not in control of you, right? And how can you do that? How can you change and manipulate your life or the decisions that you're making so this does not happen to you each and every day? And I'm going to tell you why, right? Now, if you really want to be in control, right, and influence people to depend on you for their happiness and prosperity, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to operate at an entirely different level, right? Because this is the level that you want to reach when it comes to having the best life possible, being able to increase your wealth, right, and able to increase your particular happiness in order to increase your influence and your power, right? And when you understand how to operate this tool correctly, right, then you'll understand the levels at which countries control billions of people each and every day, right? Our country, even the United States, or so many other countries, they control people in the masses by not even forcing, but getting people to rely on them completely for their happiness and for their prosperity, for their well-being, for them having a better life, right? That's why you think so many people come to this country. It's because this country has mastered the art of using this tool of control to make people believe that they're independent when the truth is they're extremely dependent, right? They're dependent on the system. If you guys don't believe this, look at what just happened in the pandemic, right? All of the stimulus checks and interest rates and everything else that have people going at a frenzy, relying on the success of the country in order for their success to achieve the life that they want, which means, right, that they can't allow the country to fail, which means that they have to continually work at whatever they're doing for the whatever cog in the wheel they are, in order for it to keep spinning. So they can never step out of the cog in the wheel, because that cog in the wheel is based on something failing, a system failing that they're intertwined in. And you guys have to understand that. And that is how countries operate, right? They get you to depend on them for your happiness and prosperity. And in that way, they don't have to force you to do anything. The things that you do, you're doing them willingly, right? Because now you're trapped in this system of control. So what is the ultimate power, guys? What do you think is the ultimate power? Well, if you haven't answered that immediately, quickly in this podcast, let me give you the answer, right? The ultimate power is to get people to do what you want while never having to hurt, threaten, or force them to do so. Dude, that is the ultimate power. Think about it, right? People are doing what you want, your will and your bidding, keeping you at the level of success that you're at without you telling them that they have to do it, without you forcing them to do it for you, right? You don't even have to be a tyrant, right? You don't have to be a tyrant or a dictator, right? They're doing these things willingly, right? To make your system continually go, for you to continually be successful, right? And in my years, guys, I have best seen this displayed by creating a relationship of dependence, right? You create the relationship of dependence. So if you're not a country and you're doing this at a much smaller level, maybe a business or maybe just something small that you're influencing in your life, right? You have to do this by creating a relationship of dependence. Somebody has to depend on you. Somebody needs to depend on you in order for them to have happiness, in order for them to have prosperity, right? Now, far too many people, guys, have mistakenly believed that the ultimate form of power is independence, right? People really think that if they were truly and completely independent, right? Like if hear a lot of people talk about the off the grid thing, right? Living off the grid, living on my own land, totally and completely independent from the country. Independence, right? And what I want to tell them is this is the furthest from the truth. Independence is the furthest from the truth when it comes to having power, right? Having your independence. And like I said, when I say this, I think of all of the people that constantly live off the grid, you know, the solar, living off the sun, the solar, and all this other stuff, right? And the truth is, yes, right? These people are completely independent, right? They're completely independent, right? Eating from the rivers and the land and gaming and all of the stuff that they're doing, right? To live their life. Never even have to go to a supermarket or rely on the government for power or their roads. They're doing all this themselves, right? And so they're completely independent and they can come and go as they please and do what they want, but they have no power, right? So yeah, you can come and go as you want, but they have no power, right? And in life, if you are truly going to live a successful life, if you are truly going to live a life of influence, if you are truly going to have the life that you want at the highest level where you're giving value to as many people as possible, you got to have power. You got to have power, guys. You can't influence people in a dramatic way without having power, man. So if you want to be on the right side of the scale, if you want to be on the right side of the scale, you must have power. And guess what, guys? Power involves relationships between people. So you can't be off the grid, all alone, coming and going as you please, and have any form of power whatsoever, right? Any form of power whatsoever. You need people. And the people's need for you can also free you. It can give you your independence, right? The more people that need you, the more independent you are to kind of do what you want and come and go as you please. And because now it's people that need you, and because they need you, you can manipulate the situation where their need for you also takes care of you. Okay, so understand that, right? Now, one last note as we go through this, guys. I don't want you guys to be fooled by this, right? Don't be fooled into thinking that if you make someone love you, right? Because this is what a lot of people do, right? You make someone love you, and because they love you, because you know you're super nice, and I've seen this especially in law enforcement, right? You make somebody love you or care for you, and you think that they will remain under your control. And that is also a mistruth. That is far from the truth. In fact, guys, in many relationships, the party being controlled, right, often ends up resenting the person in power, right? Or the other person. And a lot of times possibly plotting their demise. So a lot, you thinking that people are loving you and caring you, and because they're loving you and caring you, that they're okay with being under your control, right? And the truth is, they're not okay with being under your control. A lot of times, they resent the fact that you happen to be in power and the person pushing the button and the person calling the shots and the person in control. So they're living their full life in resent, and they may not have the power at this time, okay, to bring you down. But if you get enough people under you that supposedly love you, right, for who you are and what you've done for so many people, a lot of times they build up resentment instead, okay, because they're not in power and maybe they feel that they could be doing what you're doing better. And so they'll be plotting your demise. So you got to be extra careful of that. So I tell people, be wise. Now this may not be something that you're willing to hear, but I got two more things to tell you guys, and I want you to take this to heart. I really need you guys to take this to heart. And the first thing is, guys, to never, and this is 101, please don't make this mistake, all right? Never place yourself in a position of control and complete, right? Position of control and complete dependence in a romantic relationship, right? So obviously in a relationship, it's two sides to every relationship. The last thing you want to be in a relationship is a person, right, who is in a position of complete control of that relationship. You don't want to be that person, right? Obviously, you also don't want to be the person who is in the complete subservient position in a relationship either. That is not what you want, okay? That makes for a very bad relationship, number one. And it makes for a relationship that is full of resentment. It makes for a relationship that could possibly be full of envy, okay? And I want to tell people that, you can't do this in a relationship. You better not do it in a marriage, right? Because the truth is, you can't control love, right? So a lot of people try to get into these relationships and they try to place themselves in a position of control. Maybe a man tries to use his money and influence to control a woman. Maybe a woman tries to use her sexuality to be in control of a man. And when they do these things, the other party ends up resenting you. They ends up resenting you, and it ends up just a spoiled relationship all around, man, and not a true loving relationship, because love you can't control. You cannot control love, period. Right? Love goes where it wants to go, so understand that, man. So that's the first thing I want you guys to understand. The second thing, which is really scary, guys, but understand this even better. It is better, and don't do this in a relationship, obviously, but it is better to have others depend on you out of fear than love, right? Understand this. Fear, you can't control. You can't control love. So, listen, I'm freezing. My battery's low. Hopefully you guys got tons of good information that I've given you today on relationships and what side of the scale you are living on. You need to understand this, man, because these are the decisions that will change your life and help you to have a much better life. So get out there, make the right decisions, make the right choices, continue to work hard. Don't rely on hope, rely on hard work, okay, and relationships to have a better life. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up for today. You guys make sure you hop on over. I told you 10,000 autographed copies I'm giving away. So hop on over to lieutenantsalblue.com and pick up your copy today. I'll be sending out 10,000 autographed copies. Also, tons of extra bonuses on the website as well. Also, guys, check me out on social media. Shoot me a DM on any of the social media platforms: TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Blogger, Reddit, Twitter. I don't know. I think I said all of them. Anyway, man, shoot me a DM, all at Lieutenant Sal Blue. That's my name. And wear it out if you can. Say it to as many people as possible, all right? And I'll talk to you tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic evening. Deuces.